In your morning consumer news, a decades-old executive order that banned workplace discrimination was rescinded by President Trump. It's being replaced by a new requirement that calls for government contractors to confirm they don't have diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Trump is also demanding federal agencies identify targets for federal investigations into their DEI practices. The now rescinded order was signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Delta Airlines will soon resume service from the United States to Israel. The carrier announced that daily direct flights from New York's JFK Airport to Tel Aviv, Israel, will begin in April. Delta said its decision to resume U.S. to Israel service comes after a comprehensive security review. It also comes less than a week after a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas went into effect. Walmart has announced sweeping pay raises. Some top market managers who oversee roughly a dozen stores will now make more than $600,000 per year. The entry rate for that position has increased about 25% to $160,000 annually. Walmart's sales have been strong overall. According to its most recent earnings report, Walmart's profit went up 8% compared to the year before. Con artists are trying to take advantage of people during the cold winter months. CBS's Josh Dorwitz has more on a scam that targets utilities.
Dan Deming said he was suspicious when he received a call from someone claiming to be from his power company.
A gentleman on the other end told me that my service was about to be shut off.
But the IT software specialist started to doubt himself and what he knew about scams.
I mean, I was pretty conflicted because I know that they try to instill this sense of urgency. Your account's going to be shut off. You're going to lose your electricity to, try and get you to break out the pocketbook or whatever. But on the other hand, the guy was very well spoken, very smooth talker, and he had all this information about me.
Information including his address and his account number.
He also mentioned that my account number had recently changed, and he had that earlier account number as well.
We do track utility scams because it is such a popular scam.
Melanie McGovern with the Better Business Bureau says scam artists also target businesses and threaten to shut off the electricity. And they often want an untraceable form of payment like Bitcoin or a prepaid card.
And what we know is once that money is gone, it's gone. So if that is the method of payment they're asking for, that's a definite red flag that it is a scam. If you do get one of these calls, just hang up and call your utility company directly.
That's what Deming did, and the power company confirmed he was not facing shutoff.
That was kind of the one thing that had been drilled into me that luckily I stuck to that day.
And experts also warn that scammers can even spoof your caller ID to make it look like that call is coming from your utility company.
Well, that's a look at your consumer news. We're going to send it over to Art for a look at our forecast now.
All right, and away we go with that, holding on to the possibility of cold conditions today due to a wind chill that's going to be down to at least minus 23 degrees in some cases, and then eventually we'll get into seasonal high temperatures, or at least near that as we go into your afternoon. Speaking of the afternoon, we go into the late day. We'll hold on to the possibility up in Eau Claire. You could see maybe about 3 o'clock or so, possibly a little snow coming in for the kids going home from school today, and then all the way through the evening commute, we're going to see that snow coming and going, working across the region today, and eventually coming back again for Saturday. We'll see that snow popping into the picture. But for now, we're holding on to that low pressure system is well up to the north in Canada, but it's also extending out from Montana. And as we go through the day today, you'll be seeing holding on to that snow working in the forecast later on. Now, high pressure was settled pretty much a little bit closer to us. That's what I just showed you with the winds earlier, and that's why they're circulating like that. But eventually, as we finish out the day, high pressure kind of sneaks away just a little bit more toward the south and toward the south and southeast. We'll get into the current temperatures right now, 17 or at least minus 17 in Ladysmith, down to Eau Claire, minus 15 degrees. We're minus 2 in La Crosse and minus 16 in Sparta and minus 17 in Black River Falls. So it's pretty cold out there right now for the early morning, and the winds are not as such as they're strong right now, but they will be by the late morning hours as wind gusts begin to stir up. We'll go right into the 7 o'clock hour. You see that minus 20 going into Ladysmith with that wind chill. We'll also find ourselves getting into the 10 o'clock hour, backing off a bit, still minus 2 for La Crosse, but by the time we get into the 1 o'clock hour, the winds push up into the from the south, working northward. We'll also see the winds starting to also help us warm up a little bit as well. So the temperatures are warming. And these are the wind chills. So mind you, our local temperatures will be in the 20s by that time, possibly. We'll get into the 5 o'clock hour for the wind gusts rolling through the area. Those winds begin to pick up as we go through the morning hours, as you can see, continuing on through the evening commute. As they continue to go, by the time the evening commute is over, by the mid-evening hours, we're starting to see those winds track down and be a little bit lighter. But once we get into Saturday, going into the 10 o'clock hour, man, oh man, those winds begin to tick up, and we are seeing those winds getting up to near 40 miles per hour. All right, that being said, the coldest period of the year, well, is it supposed to be? Well, yeah, it's supposed to be. We're back into seasonal average temperatures as we finish out the day today. We're on the bottom scale of that. We'll also hold on to the highs today, looking at least maybe 16 to about 25 degrees for you. Then we get into the snow, holding on as we go through the 9 o'clock hour. You start to see snow trying to cross the Mississippi. But once we get in the 3 o'clock hour, the possibility of that snow moving in the picture, going through the evening commute and all the way through Saturday, the possibility of that happening is not out of the question. We could see about 1 to 2 inches, maybe a dusting down to the south as well as we hold on to it. Saturday's temperatures maybe 26 to about 35 degrees. We'll go into the temperatures here as we see by the time we get in today. We're seasonal, but by the time we go into several weeks away, we are holding on to at least temperatures getting back into the 40s, near the 50s. All right, that being said, 23 degrees today, 33 tomorrow, and breezy. Breezy will continue going into Sunday. As we go into Sunday night, that's when the winds will really begin to tick up. We'll keep those winds going from Monday into Tuesday. You're seeing those temperatures 41 to 37 degrees with milder temperatures to finish out the remainder of next week. Be safe out there and have a wonderful weekend.